This is going to be part 2 of assembling the 1JZ, getting it prepared to swap it into the IS300. I would say 99% of the parts here already. We're just waiting for the ECU and we're ready to swap it in. So it's going to be very, very soon, either this weekend or next weekend, depending if we have anything to do. We're going to be taking a couple of pieces off, like the intake manifold, taking off spark plugs, redoing the PCV system, and we got the most important part, which is the turbo. But I don't want to say big turbo, even though it's considered a big turbo conversion, because I share a warehouse with 2 really big turbo LS guys, and they don't allow me to say that word anymore because their turbos are big turbos.
For a T4, would you consider it a big turbo?
T4 is a big turbo. Like when you convert, these have small turbo stock, so they do a big turbo conversion.
That is a baby. What the hell, dude?
Fuck you, bro. Fuck you.
It does look tiny.
It is tiny, but it's pretty big for a setup. I ended up going with a drift motion billet turbo. So it's a polished front housing. The size of this turbo, it's a 6262. It has Garrett internals with a billet compressor wheel. This looks like a pretty clean setup because it gives you a lot of options. You can have this weld-on bung, which the welds aren't the best, okay, I give them that, you know. That's the only thing that I'm like,
We'll have somebody fix it.
We can have someone fix it if they leak, but it comes with this backing plate. They give you an option to do either dark gray or blue. So at least they give you some options for the build. So, and it only takes about a week to build because everything's built here. The turbo, from what I've seen, can produce 650 horsepower, which is a lot, especially from that little turbo. So I honestly just want to hit like 350, which I know I can hit easily.
500?
But I just don't know how long the W55 is gonna last. 650 will
Just
last.
one time and then...
No, dude, the tranny will blow up, bro.
That's fine, we have a tranny.
Yeah, we have a CD09, but you know how expensive it is to swap it in? About like $3 grand after the drive shaft.
Yeah, but if you're looking to book...
That's why. If Martin still has it after mine blows up, I'll just give him the money then and there and then just order the kit. We did change one thing about this turbo. This fitting used to be barbed. That's going to be running to the wastegate. We ended up swapping it over to a push lock fitting. Jeremiah loves push lock fittings because they're just a lot more reliable. You don't have to use any clamps and nothing will blow off, except for melting if you have a hot ass turbo.
I don't know who does that.
We're gonna be using this VS Racing 44 mil wastegate. It's similar to a tile, so I would say it's like a tile replica. And we're gonna be using the same push lock fitting for this. So we're just gonna run it straight to the turbo, depending obviously on the location, because I want the wastegate to dump into the exhaust when it's coming down. So depending on how that sets up. We have a couple of things here, even things that we're not going to be installing. I'm going with Pro Sport for my gauges. So I have a wideband gauge. I'm using a Trey Performance 255 fuel pump. Talk about that later when we install it. And then we have some OEM motor mounts. I'm just gonna be using the OEM IS300 motor mounts, and it's gonna be super comfortable. I'm trying to make this as dailyable as possible. We also have this expensive ass OEM PCV hose, which you can't find anywhere. I had it imported from Australia. We also have some drift motion intake manifold gaskets, which are plastic and reusable, so hopefully they don't leak. We got NGK IX Iridium spark plugs, which are recommended if you're going for higher boost levels, and which obviously I'm going with big turbo. It's gonna have a lot more airflow, even at lower boost levels than a stock turbo. Look at that bad boy.
I think it's stripped.
No, it's not. Dude, this looks like a good turbo size for this car. There's only a 2.5 liter, bro. This is a JZS 171 1JZ, so it has the ETCSI, which is what you want when you swap it into an IS300, because it's half drive-by-wire and half electric.
If it opens 90%.
Every video, bro.
Not for aesthetics.
Fun fact on these intake manifolds, both 1Js and 2Js are 2-piece. So it has the bottom runners where the injectors feed into, and then you have the top piece. Since the 2JZ GEs that's found in the IS300s, SC300s, they have the 2-piece manifold. Obviously, theirs are longer and it goes over the valve covers. If you guys want to run a 2JZ GTE intake manifold, they do sell adapters. So don't stress out if you guys just want to run a similar stock OEM setup. You guys can keep this setup and then just have an adapter plate that'll bolt into a GTE intake manifold. So that's also an option for you guys to run if you guys just want to do an NAT build. Call you Carlo. That fool hates you, bro. So, Brody?
Guy.
Hey, you ready to test fit those TEs on my car? He sold his Model 6s from the last video, and he put on some TEs. But he wants, I don't know, you tried to run that mismatch, huh?
Yeah, I like this.
Go.
How the fuck did it not crack the front?
Bro, this guy tried to outlift me, and this is what happens. You crack your phone, bro. I mean, it's an iPhone like 4, so you could just replace it. This is like the highest quality PCV valve I've ever seen. Brand new bolts and grommets for these valve covers. Look how nasty and corroded these are. Doing spark plug swaps and like valve cover gaskets is so easy on these cars. But look how gross these are. This is what makes swapping JZs into other JZ chassis so easy. You can literally use the same exact motor mounts for all of them. JZs are known for the worst oil filter placement, and they drip oil everywhere, and they're just a pain in the ass to get to. But you have to remove the oil filter to install the motor mounts. And luckily, we're gonna be replacing the oil filter, duh. So he threw away the other one, and we have genuine Toyota filters. So if you wanna know the part number, and if it's in focus, it's right here. So we're gonna be throwing it on, and we have two, because I'm gonna do like a break-in oil. Obviously the car may run rich when we first start it up, and obviously when they're tuning it, so I wanna do an oil change afterwards. There you go. Hand tight. See? Factory everything, bro. Look at those brand new
So
bolts.
much nicer.
Clean. Jeremiah has some extra bolts laying around that bolt into the turbo manifold. Probably all generic, huh? Oh, nice. Torqued. Torque to germ spec, huh?
Who does this?
I went with Freed Engineering for the turbo lines, and this is supposed to be a plug-and-play swap for the T4 turbos. It didn't turn out that way. Their products are very nice. Stainless steel lines look very good. I already opened the kit, so that's the reason why it's all dirty like this. All this stuff works. This piece that's supposed to go into the feed line on the turbo does not work. I had to go with Motion Raceworks, which Jeremiah and Martin are using. They're fitting right there. Bro, the valve cover gasket took way longer than necessary. So I do not recommend using a 2JZ GTE and GE valve cover gasket. They are not the same. I don't care what anybody says. There's a website that claims that you can use them and they're interchangeable. This is the last time you're going to see this motor until we swap it in, because there's really nothing else. Very, very small things, but I'll make sure to start creating a list of everything that I used so you guys can copy it if you guys are gonna try to do this exact setup. I don't know how it's going to work. If there's one takeaway from this whole entire video is don't run IS300 valve cover gaskets on a 1J. So on that note, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you guys on the next one.
No one ever really dies. T threw a rag in the sky. She threw it back from the side. I was just losing my mind. You right here telling